Today we're looking at President Abraham Lincoln. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States from 1861 to 1865 and was a member of the Republican Party. Widely regarded as one of the greatest presidents of all time, Lincoln led the nation through the Civil War, seeking to keep the Union together, and would finally be the president to fight for and succeed in ending the institution of slavery in America. Lincoln was born February 12, 1809, near Hodgenville, Kentucky, one of three children born to Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. Abraham had an older sister, Sarah, and a younger brother, Thomas, but Thomas died while he was in infancy. His father, Thomas Lincoln, was a farmer, and the family had to work hard, living on the frontier. In 1816, the Lincolns moved to southern Indiana to another small farm. It was there in 1818 that Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, died. Abraham was only 9 years old at the time. As a child, Lincoln had very little formal education as far as attending school. Rather, he was basically self-taught and read every book he could get his hands on. In 1830, the family again moved, this time to southern Illinois. Shortly after the move, Abraham, now almost 22 years old, decided it was time for him to strike out on his own. He moved to New Salem, Illinois, where he lived for 6 years. While there, he worked as a general store clerk, riverboat pilot, postmaster, surveyor, and other odd jobs. Lincoln shortly served in the state militia in 1832 during the Black Hawk War, but never saw any fighting. Shortly thereafter, he ran for his first political office in the Illinois state legislature. Lincoln lost that election, but it would feed his desire to be involved in politics, and in 1834 he was successful in being elected to the Illinois state legislature, where he served until 1842. Also, while in New Salem, Lincoln began to study to become a lawyer. He borrowed law books from anyone that would lend them to him, and by 1837 he had received his license to practice law. Lincoln soon after relocated to Springfield, Illinois, where he saw more opportunities for his law practice. Lincoln became a successful attorney, riding the judicial circuit, representing clients throughout southern and central Illinois. In 1839, he met and began courting Mary Todd, and the two would be married in 1842. In 1843, together they purchased a home in Springfield, Illinois. Abraham and Mary Todd would go on to have 4 sons, but 3 of their 4 children died during childhood. Lincoln aligned himself with the Whig Party and admired Whig leader Henry Clay. In 1846, Lincoln was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, but only for one term from 1847 to 1849. He returned to Springfield and over the next few years built up his law practice. As the expansion of slavery to the West became a central issue in America, Lincoln clearly opposed allowing slavery in new states. After the passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854, Lincoln decided he needed to throw his hat back into politics. Lincoln, who by that point had joined the Republican Party, challenged Democrat Stephen Douglas for his U.S. Senate seat in 1858. In a series of 7 debates across Illinois, Abraham Lincoln argued against Douglas's stance of popular sovereignty and allowing slavery to expand. Lincoln lost that election to Douglas, but the debates had thrust Lincoln into the national spotlight. In 1860, he was nominated by the Republican Party to run for President of the United States. In the election of 1860, he faced off against 3 other candidates: Northern Democrat Stephen Douglas, Southern Democrat John Breckinridge, and Constitutional Union Party candidate John Bell. Lincoln won the election with only 40% of the popular vote, but with 180 electoral votes, enough to win the Electoral College. Abraham Lincoln was sworn in as president on March 4, 1861, and faced a challenge unlike any previous president, as already states were seceding or leaving the Union after his election. Soon after, on April 12, 1861, the first shot of the Civil War was fired at Fort Sumter. Lincoln committed himself to preserving the Union. At the outset of the war, the primary focus of the war was keeping the country together, but as losses mounted for the Union, Lincoln felt the war needed to be given a new purpose. In September of 1862, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which did not go into effect until January 1st of 1863. The Emancipation Proclamation freed all enslaved people in rebelling states. With this, the war now had the goal of preserving the Union, but also eliminating slavery. Shortly after the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863, Lincoln delivered his most famous speech, the Gettysburg Address, in which he said the war was about a new birth of freedom and defending democracy for future generations. In 1864, Lincoln easily defeated Democrat and former Union General George B. McClellan to win his second term in office. In early April 1865, after 4 years of fighting and over 600,000 Americans dying, the war came to an end as Lincoln aided in pushing through the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, banning the institution of slavery in America. Only days later, on April 14, 1865, Lincoln was shot by assassin John Wilkes Booth while attending a play in Washington, D.C. Abraham Lincoln died the following morning on April 15, 1865, at the age of 56. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.